First off, I would like to greet each and everyone a good day and hope that everything will go well as we go through these 1 week pocket lessons of trends. So let me introduce to you this module handbook of trends, network and critical thinking in the 21st century learning, which is authored by Julius Caesar D. Macusi. Let's start our quick tour and hope that you would be able to like this. And just a quick background, this module is actually a part of a survey or a research. So if you happen to have the survey questionnaire, just go through it and do not leave any question unanswered. So hope that you would enjoy this ride with me as we go through this trends module. So before anything else, let me just state our disclaimer. Any information contained herein should not be attributed to and do not necessarily represent the views of the Department of Education, Cordillera Administrative Region, Schools Division of Tabuk City, or the Nawag National High School, or the author, Mr. Julius Caesar D. Macusi. The Department of Education, Cordillera Administrative Region, Schools Division of Tabuk City, and Nawag National High School, and the author, Mr. Julius Caesar D. Macusi, do not guarantee the accuracy of the data in this publication and accept no responsibility for any consequences of their use. So I hope that that's quite very clear. So let's start. This module, by the way, is still on the process of being improved and being developed, but it has some copyright. So if you have some issues or if you have some concerns, you may freely contact Julius Caesar D. Macusi at 0935-375-5745 or at the email entrepbus@gmail.com. About this module, the author had actually encountered as one of the hindrances of the implementation of the K-12. It's not a major hindrance or obstacle, but somehow it would really help greatly the senior high school teachers if the subjects being offered at the grade 12 curriculum has instructional materials which are available, or guides, or at least references, okay, that would be contextualized at the level of the culture or the place where the students are. They could somehow relate to the lesson readily and participate and collaborate at a lovely manner. So this module is actually developed during the advent of the K-12 program way back at 2018. Okay, so as Republic Act 10533 denote that every graduate of the basic education be an empowered individual through program rooted on the competence to engage in work and be productive, the ability to coexist in fruitful harmony with local and global communities, the capability to engage in creative and critical thinking, and the capacity and willingness to transform others and oneself. So this is the ideal objective of this module. So it adapted and derived its framework from CHED's SHS for SHS framework, meaning Saysay Husay Sarili for senior high school, but it also adopted the pattern of the daily lesson plan or the daily lesson log for the grade 12 curriculum or senior high school of the K-12 program. So the general objective of this module is none other than the curriculum guide, which contains the content standard, performance standard, learning competency, and as well as the code for the senior high schools under the Department of Education. So for this packet lesson, it contains 5 lessons, which has 5 learning competencies. Namely, first you have define trend, explain the process on how to spot a trend, differentiate the trend from a fad, point out the elements that make up a trend, describe the different characteristics of a trend, and so on and so forth. So it has a lot of learning competencies. So just for this survey questionnaire that you are participating in or that you are viewing, it only has a packet lessons, those that I've read a while back. It also has some advice on about the timing and the organization of your study when you are going to use this module. But somehow, as of now, if actually there is no right pattern, there is no right way of conducting education in this kind of crisis that we are experiencing right now, as some of the experts had previously discussed or mentioned. So it has no exact right way of conducting education right now. But there are ways on how we are going to design and present the lesson in a manner that would allow a way of having our students learn more or maximize their learning. First lesson, definition of trend. Content standards, the learners understand the emergence of trends and patterns. Performance standards, the learner will be able to derive an idea through a 100-word essay, artwork, and other graphic representation. So learning competencies define a trend. So here is the lesson outline that we are going to go through. First, you have the review or the motivation part, the introduction, the instruction, and the evaluation. So on these areas, you have some activities, and this for this lesson. As for this lesson, you also have the materials to be used, and as well as the resources already included. And each of the section of this lesson has specific timings to consider in order for it to be finished on time for your other subjects as well. All right, let's proceed to the main part of our lesson. So what I need to know. So in this part, you are given a passage to read as well as a quick background of what the topic is going to go to, or how it would open up and give the learners more ideas for discussion as well as for the activities of this lesson. So we're not going to go through this passage anymore. I'll just give you a quick time to browse through this module. So on the, as you can see on the left side, you have there the passage, and on the right side you have another section, a sidebar for the needed and very important reading. Okay, let's proceed to the next page. Okay, this is just a continuation, and in each passage, actually you also have some video reference materials, okay, that is being cited that you need to check out for any student or for the teacher in order to gain more understanding at a higher level about the lesson, okay, so that it would facilitate the discussion and the activities later on after this instructions or passages. After going through the passages or reading or reviewing some materials, watching some video clips, you are now ready to go and start the lesson proper. So you have your question. It starts with a question, okay, and of course a time wherein you are only allowed 2 minutes to answer these questions. Just quite easy. If you happen to watch the video clip or read the passages or the sidebar, you could easily answer these questions. All the answers are actually there already. Okay? So all you need to do is to follow painstakingly the instructions of this material. So you have the first question of letter A, like what are the characteristics of the 21st century? Of course, this came from the reading. It's about the reading materials, the sidebar, passage, and a quick introduction. Letter B, in a sentence, how would you describe the fourth industrial revolution in the context of the modern times we are living in? Again, if you have read the passages and browse, even if you just browse quickly some of the materials cited, you can have a quick answer and discuss these questions freely. If you are somewhat hard up, just after these lessons or presentations, you have here a sample answer. Okay, so it doesn't mean that if you have an answer here, you will use this to answer the questions. No, it's just like a guide, a model where the student may use this answer, okay, and then eventually follow the pattern after how it has been formulated, how it has been answered, so that they will not be hard up, okay, of answering these the questions on this part of the module. All right, so you also have here a motivation next activity. Let's just go through this quickly. What do you think about the following pictures and taglines? Write your answers on the spaces provided. So for 5 minutes. The next activities, you have the introduction, like for 3 minutes. For each section of this lesson, you would go through different activities. Like for this one, it has a picture analysis. So you can see your friends, okay, your social friends, and the food that you just eaten a while back, chicken. Okay, so let's proceed to the next. For this, just a quick tour. So you can also see your girlfriend's hairstyles and your little sister's way of education, anyways. So it's a quick tour. You also have different fast food chains on this page. So it's somehow very colorful and makes the lesson more lighter and easy to follow, and as well as easy to answer because they could readily relate with the lessons just for any student. Okay, so the examples here is localized because we have these some of these fast food chains already available in our place. So for the next activity, it's a question. So, for example, what have you noticed from the given pictures above, starting from the very first picture? So, out of the previous activities, it's building up and trying to deepen the understanding of the learner about the main topic, or so that they would tackle the main objective fair and square. Okay, so that this lesson's objective would be achieved. So for this lessons activity on processing questions, the learner is given 10 minutes. Next, you have sample answers for each question. Okay, so as we are very aware of, children or any person, the best way to teach them is to model the right deeds, the right actions, the right words to follow. So for this module, it has answers where learners will be able to base or pattern also their answers, so that they would uh, not ponder or think too much of how they're going to answer these activities on this module. So that's how this module was conceptualized, was designed, so that it would make learning so easy, so lovely, and makes the learner fall in love with learning. So the good thing about this module, it does not only provide sample answers, but it would really deepen the understanding of the learners towards the achievement of the objective set forth in the curriculum drive of that ed. So there you go. That's for our first lesson. And actually, at the end of this lesson, you have some form of assessment. So it's an objective assessment based on the readings on the lesson and on the passages that the student had gone through. So it's just so easy. And the answers already provided for the teachers, if teachers are going to use this module. So for the feedback of the student, a sheet is also provided for them so that they can assess the lesson. If there are some needed improvement or still some the areas where aspects where they see that there's room for improvement, they may just fill up this form, this feedback form, for the teacher to know whether the lessons that he has prepared or the lessons contained in this module actually was able to meet the curriculum objective. So it has a very similar pattern. You have again there the content standards, and the performance standards, the learning competencies. So this is the goal. The learning competencies is the goal for this particular lesson, and the performance standard is the main goal. The teacher or a leader, sometimes we are called for duty and we find ourselves in situations where there is no available teacher's guide or instructional materials or references. Hence, this module. And I just remember that when teaching such kind of courses, it makes teaching really tough, okay? Because there are no available all or related materials, okay? And at times, it's not even contextualized because that end, as per the K-12 guidelines, it must be contextualized or localized and presented in a way wherein there is integration in order to have a holistic learning on the part of our students. So it has a multidisciplinary approach. So according to some researchers, instructional modules, okay, has so many advantages. Say for example, for the area of cooperation. So modular instruction reduces competition and threat of failure. Consequently, cooperation is increased. Students share the responsibility for learning with the teacher. Next, you also have feedback. So modules have their own built-in assessment of progress, okay, just like these activities. that you can see. Okay? They provide the student with immediate and continuing feedback. Okay? Such as for this module, for every lesson, there is a corresponding feedback mechanism. And in a module, for modular instruction, it is very flexible. If we are only talking about flexibility, modular instruction adapts to individual learner differences by providing flexibility with respect to the pacing, format, and content of instruction. For mastery, modular instruction avoids the artificial procedure of grading on a normal curve because of the nature of the learning process in modular instruction, and because real achievement is measured potentially, all students can master the subject. You see, this is the advantage of modular instruction. It's again, you are giving an avenue for cooperation, for feedback, as well as you are giving students to be flexible, to master the lesson quite well, easily, and of course you are giving some form of motivation so that student choice is likely to increase motivation, hence effort. Next, objectives. When it comes to objectives, the modules are designed so that the student may easily identify the objectives and therefore proceed directly to achieve them. And then recycling. Okay? Modular instruction includes provision for specific remedial work, say for example on weak areas that are identified for the learner. The student does not have to restudy large amount of subject content. And other advantages such as the instructor has more time for enrichment lectures or special presentation, and freedom from redundancy. Since the modules are independent, single topic units, they may be used intact in different courses, eliminating redundancy within and between departments, thereby decreasing staff preparation time. Okay? So again, for this page here, you have the feedback. And for the instructor, you are given freedom from routine. So modular instruction frees the instructor from both lecture preparation and many routine administrative tasks. Okay? And it gives greater satisfaction for the instructor since modules are developed empirically. Okay? They are tested and revised until they are effective. I'm not saying that this module is perfect. No, it's being currently tested. That's why I'm floating questionnaires. Okay? So that student learning is greater, and eventually they would become satisfied for the instructor, especially that the instructor has time to focus on deficiencies of individual students without involving the whole group with each problem. So the instructor or the teacher can narrow it down, can focus to those students who are weak and are not able to cope up with the lesson. This is the advantage of modular instruction. Next, for intellectual challenge. Concentrating on the process of learning can be an exciting and scholarly activity. Questions such as how do students learn, how can the instructor facilitate learning, what is a relevant and necessary sequence in instruction, can provide intellectual challenges to an instructor. Student contributions. Say, students, perhaps after completing modules on how to develop a module, can become assistant curriculum designers and provide instructor additional instructional materials. So, this module provides students with active learning, cooperative learning, individualized learning, and interdisciplinary learning so that the student will become effective and highly successful overall in his or her learning experience. And the students can organize and manage their learning environment as well as create accountability in their work. See, students through modules, students can learn in their own pacing. So we are quite near the end of our last lesson. So I hope you enjoy touring this lesson as you are after this going to answer the survey questionnaire. There you go. Thank you so much. And these are the reference materials that I've used in making only these 5 packet modules. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you.